A lone pilot named Andre Borschberg is strapped into the tiny cockpit in a fragile solar-powered plane, and he's only about 1,000 kilometers away from his destination.
Now, he's been flying the experimental Solar Impulse 2 for more than 4 days straight now. The ultimate goal to fly around the world without using a drop of fuel. But for now, the sleep-deprived pilot just trying to make it from Japan to Hawaii, a 5-day flight. And guess what? Pilot Andre Borschberg joins us now on the phone from his cockpit. He's 8,000 feet above the Pacific Ocean, nearly 90% of the way to Hawaii. And we will warn you, if you're watching us, that there is a real delay because this phone line is going a long way and back again. So excuse the delay. But Andre, if I can ask you how you're feeling after all that time. You broke a world record in terms of solo flight a few hours ago. How are you holding up?
Well, first of all, it's absolutely magnificent to be up here and to have, the possibility to fly day and night, almost a week, using only the sun as the full source of energy. But 4 days was extraordinary. I had the possibility to aid in this airplane and to live every moment. Now that that Hawaii is approaching, I even feel a little bit sad that it's soon over.
You know, I understand you also crossed a potentially problematic cold front, Andre. Can you tell us how you manage that situation?
Well, that's a very tiny environment. That's true, but I use different techniques. First, we trained, and I trained in this environment, but also use and I did a lot of yoga and meditation every morning, every day, to of course keep the body a little bit in good conditions. But more important, in fact, the mindset, the right attitude. And by doing yoga, you become an observer about yourself, and it helps to manage stress, difficult situation, anxiety much better.
We were keeping an eye on the website today, and I must say, when we were having our editorial meeting this morning, we checked, and the battery level was at 10%, which made us all pause. But the sun at that point was coming up, and so you're recharged. By the time you get to Hawaii, I think it's going to be something like 120 hours in the air. How are you dealing with that fatigue?
Well, we know these were tense moments, and I need to do two things. Well, first is to manage the energy of the airplane and be every morning in a sunny environment to be able to recharge. And this is done thanks to the help of the control center in Monaco. And they see the weather and they can help me to find the right spot. At the same time, I have to find places where I can rest. I can do short naps, my yoga, my meditation, so it should not be turbulent. So all this is a question of planning, but also a question of adaptation. You plan, but the reality is never as you imagine. So you have to adapt. You have to be flexible and maybe create new solutions. And that's the extraordinary part of it. And that's what my partner Bertrand Piccard, who flew with a balloon, in fact, helped me to discover. And through his sharing his experience, I was able also to better prepare this flight.